On today's show, researchers create a vomiting robot to study viruses, a really cool compass that doesn't require you to be able to see it to use it.
And guess what, astronauts looking to get drunk in space? Your answer is finally here.
Ugh, first world space problems. It's Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily, the best geek talk show in the known universe. I'm Ashley Skella. That's Khail Anonymous. We're back after
Say first world and then space.
Outer world space problems. First space station. Is that first world? I don't know.
We're hiring an editor to write
our scripts.
Write and edit our scripts.
No, it's still first world because they're from Earth. And those are their problems.
Okay.
They just happen to be in Earth's orbit.
Okay.
I'll still count it as first world because they're in our orbit.
All right, you win this time.
All right, fine. Let's hit the headlines.
So log this under the category of first world space problems. Because you know how hard it is.
That was really clever. I wouldn't have thought of that.
You know how hard it is to drink anything in space.
Yeah.
It literally in microgravity will float all around and be in a bubble and get into the engines and all the electronics. It's not a good thing.
They have those big like Capri Sun looking packs,
Yeah,
right?
the little squish bottles.
Yeah.
Well, a whiskey company has decided that it wants to help the astronauts get a little tipsy. Drink their whiskey in the right way, which is to sip it. You don't want to drink it through a straw.
Of course.
So they've created a device that will let them sip at their whiskey in microgravity.
That's pretty amazing.
So
I'm
this thing is not very easy to explain. But I will tell you.
Doesn't look like it. There's like a million pieces.
Yeah.
These are all the concept designs, I'm sure. But
So
holy crap.
yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. Give me 1 second. So basically this whiskey company has decided they wanted to create a device. And basically the way it works is the bottom of the bulbous glass is made of gold-plated stainless steel and contains a spiral ring for a reservoir of whiskey to cling to. Through a phenomenon known as capillary action, the whiskey is drawn upward through a helical channel within the side of the glass to a mouthpiece at the rim for a space traveler to drink.
Oh wow, so they don't have to there's no suction at all involved. So that's pretty awesome.
Right, yeah, so it uses a similar mechanism as the espresso cup that they use on the ISS.
Okay.
And what the great thing is that this can be 3D printed. So the astronauts don't need to be sent these glasses. They have a 3D printer on the space station.
Yeah, that's
and can
right.
print out their little whiskey cups anytime they want. They also
I need a drink. It's going to take you 3 days to print out your cup.
Come on. So they also, to test this, they used a very tall tower, which you saw at the beginning of this, called the Zarm Drop Tower in Germany, used to research the microgravity experiments
all right.
to see how that worked.
Yeah, I think they do a lot of generalized space experiments there, so that's pretty cool.
So there you go. They're not looking to mass produce it just yet, but yeah, Ballantine whiskey is really hoping to get some magical moments for
Hey man, space tourism is going to be big, and you're going to want to be like Don Draper as you're in your suborbital rocket checking out Earth. You're going to want to be, have a nice fine glass of whiskey. So maybe that'll be a thing.
There you go.
Pretty good space tourism. It's a good idea. I mean, listen, it's going to be a thing. Someone's going to want to or need to get alcohol up into rockets, like when we have actual space tourism, when Virgin Galactic goes up into space, when SpaceX starts doing those those rocket trips people are paying money for, $250,000 or something for a ticket. It's like, they serve alcoholic beverages on these flights, on a regular flight, so why not in space?
Yeah.
So that's smart.
I drink it out of a Capri Sun.
They'll probably patent it, and then all of the alcohol companies will have to buy it from them, and then they'll be super rich.
There you go. They're thinking ahead. So that brings us to our hashtag of the day, which is TD Drink. We want to know.
TD Cocktail.
TD Cocktail. We changed it since we walked in here.
I know.
TD Cocktail. So we want to know, now that you can drink in space, what type of alien would you like to take if you could sit down and have a drink with? It could be fictional.
Could be fictional, okay.
It could be like E.T.
Would you have a drink with E.T.?
I would not have an E.T. He is the most boring, basic alien in the entire world.
But maybe he gets really fun and likes to party if he drinks.
Oh, and then he glows, and then it's like a raver finger.
Lights,
he does rave finger light.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Come on,
Okay,
maybe it changes color.
Now
You don't
I want
know.
it to be E.T. No, I definitely want it to be what is it? That green space lady from Star Trek?
All right. Okay.
You know that one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the
aware.
one. That's the one I want to have a drink with.
Just a nice, sexy alien babe.
Yeah, just a nice
good?
green babe. What
Like
about
it.
you?
I would go, Star Trek, I thought of Star Trek too. I think I would I don't know if he'd have a drink with me because he's half Vulcan and half human, but Spock. I'd want to have a drink with Spock and like talk about the universe.
Doesn't seem like he'd drink.
Get philosophical with it, like you have a drink or two, you start thinking about the vastness of space and time. Do you do that? I do that. So yeah, I would want to have a drink with Spock. I think that would be really fun. And if not Spock, then I'd sit down with Bones.
With
I think
who?
it's Bones, the doctor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sit down with Bones. Have a drink with Bones. That seems pretty good.
All right.
Then we could commiserate about how miserable
You don't
life
have to
is.
stick in Star Trek. You can do anything.
You can do any alien, any
Yeah.
kind of alien, fictional
You could
characters.
do Lilu Dallas.
Oh, that's a good one. Lilu. All right,
Mine are all women. I'm sorry.
you're like,
I'm getting drunk with someone. Might as well.
beautiful ladies who are also aliens, come drink with Khail. Okay, so let's talk about this really cool compass. This is pretty awesome. It's called Animotus. And this is an engineer named Adam Spears who designed this. He's a postdoc in robotics at Yale, so definitely a really intelligent guy. And this is it. It's kind of like a compass, but it's designed to help people get around without being able to see. So if you have visual impairment, or if you even if you can fully see and you just want to get around without having to constantly be looking down at your phone, this device is pretty awesome. So it's a 3D printed device that helps you sort of find which way to go based on its movement. So it has two different ways of moving. So it can extend out, the top piece can extend. So, and then also it can rotate. So it says, oh, you need to go this way. It'll extend out and tell you which direction to go in, and it'll actually get closer to the center as you need to slow down. So when it centers again, you have to stop and wait for your next direction. So it might rotate and say, turn right. So then you would go right.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool. So right now, they use this in a very interesting way, which was what you were just seeing, the complete darkness video that you were looking at. They actually use this in sort of like a theatrical, sort of a stage play where one person, this is really interesting, they adapted this story.
This is the cutest astronaut I've ever seen in my life, by the way.
Maybe she's an alien. She'll come have a drink with you.
Okay.
So, but they did this thing where they picked somebody with a visual impairment and somebody without, set them in a pitch black church, and then had actors performing the play around them as they were navigating through the pitch darkness with the Animotus, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
So it's kind of like an experience.
High concept.
Very high concept experience. But that's how they were using it. And right now, Spear says that it's used with sensors in the room, location sensors in a room. But he wants to be able to expand that and have it just connect to, like, for example, your GPS on your phone, and then you'd be able to use it anywhere. Because especially, he didn't want it to have any sound or any light, because one, if you're visually impaired, you're not going to really maybe see that light very well. And then the other thing is cities are loud, and your senses are heightened if you have a disability in one. So I'm sure your hearing is, well, like Daredevil, your hearing is very sensitive. So if you were trying to get around the city, trying to listen to this little tiny cube while the whole metropolitan area is like honking cars and people walking by and noises and just all different kinds of sound, there's no way you'd be able to hear that little box. Mm-hmm. So they wanted it to be as easy as possible to use while still giving the most effective directions, which is pretty cool. So it's like a compass for the visually impaired. Pretty awesome.
What a weird way to show it off. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I dig it. I think it's a really cool thing. And then
we love you, beautiful astronaut. Okay,
yes,
continue.
well done, pretty astronaut lady in the costume. All right, I got to tell you about this. I saw this story a couple weeks ago, and you guys actually sent this in a few times, but I wanted to wait for video of it, and it's a short video, but so worth it. A research team at the University of North Carolina State University, they made a vomit robot. And this is it. It's a vomit machine. And it looks disgusting. And it looks terrible. And there it is, blowing chunks. But now we have video, thanks to the BBC. They made this video. They want to study the transmission of the norovirus. So norovirus is a pretty common virus. It makes you feel real sick in your stomach. And a lot of people get it. And it's very highly contagious. And they wanted to see if it could spread through the air. And sure enough, they created a vomit machine and found out that indeed, norovirus can in fact be spread through the air and at an alarming rate. So it's a lot of virus per expulsion, I guess. So yeah, they one of the researchers who's in charge of the project does this interview, and she's like, we wanted to use chunky vomitus, like fake vomitus, but we couldn't because of the limitations of the machine. And for that, I am grateful, because that would have been super gross. But what it is right now is it's actually quite tasty. It's just dyed green vanilla pudding. So they just spit it out then. So, but they're studying how it spreads. So that's why it throws up into a box, and then they can see exactly where it splatters, and then they can say, oh well, this is how it's transmitted and all that other stuff. Pretty gross.
Vomiting
Pretty great.
robot, yeah.
Puking robots, guys. Puking robots. Pretty good. On that note, we are going to take a very quick break. But before we go, you have to check out this drone who caught a fish, which is pretty great. You give a drone a fish, he eats for a meal. But if you teach a drone to fish, he can eat for life.
Oh, profound.
It's pretty good. But yeah, we'll be right back. It's Tomorrow Daily. Welcome back to the show. We've returned. It's a Tuesday. We were off yesterday, so no Back It or Hack It. Maybe tomorrow. I got something that might terrify you, but pretty good, pretty cool. But for now, since it's Tuesday, we're going to talk about something you do like and that doesn't terrify you, which is always new releases. But one of these things might terrify you, but we'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
Super Mario Maker is coming out this week, Friday. It's time. You can finally create your own Mario levels. Reviews across the board have been pretty good.
Like, what are they, 10?
I haven't seen 10s, but I've seen a lot of like 8s and 9s.
Okay.
So a lot of people say that it's very solid, very interesting. So I don't remember who wrote it, but I love it might have been Kotaku had said, this game just should not have been made. I'm shocked that this game was made, because Nintendo is so protective of their IPs that to give people complete free reign over creating Mario levels is just mind-blowing. Like, the idea that that's a thing is really mind-blowing.
Okay.
And so, but people really love this. I mean, you can literally do.
This looks maddening. I don't really want to play this.
It is absolute madness. I will say that. And like, the other thing is yeah. So it's like sometimes you can go all the way from like 8-bit Mario all the way up to, I think it's like 64-bit or Wii level Mario. It's like 64 SNES Mario. So really great stuff. If you didn't see the Nintendo World Championships, the finale was 5 Mario Maker levels that they had to run through that were really challenging. But yeah, pretty impressive, amazing. We talked about this, how this really, if it had been released at the Wii U launch, could have been a really great console seller, because it literally shows you exactly it shows you exactly what you would be looking for in terms of why the Wii U exists. Like, it makes great use of the gamepad. It is a perfect example of the hardware, like, really shining for the Wii U. And so it's super good. You can share levels. This is like the big thing that people are really excited about. You're going to be able to play levels, and you're going to be able to go download. Like, the best makers in the world are going to be making these levels, and you're going to get to see them and all that stuff.
Oh, man. Logan, are you going to get this?
Nah, not for me.
Not for him.
You guys are like super into Nintendo.
Oh,
Why
snap.
not?
I don't like building my own levels.
He doesn't like building. Well, you can download other levels from other people, and they're crazy.
Not interested.
Not
There
interested.
you go.
Well,
Plus, him and I are still playing Metal Gear.
you are. That's true.
Right, Logan?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours. So I understand. But yeah, Super Mario Maker.
50 hours
I
in
know,
Metal
you're 50
Gear.
hours in. Don't
I
spoil
know
anything,
how.
but yeah, I don't know if
how.
Khail's ever going to finish Metal Gear. All right, let's talk about The Visit, which is the movie that's coming out this weekend. It's M. Night Shyamalan,
Yeah.
but
It's like a found footage style.
could
film
redeem.
that-
Could redeem.
Maybe. Somebody's told me that it's like finally he's good
Is he
again.
back? Is he back? These commercials have terrified me ever since I saw them, like when the grandma is standing there. So it's these kids who go to their grandparents' house, and they're excited to be there, but there's some weird stuff going on, and they make sure they go to bed every night at 9:30. And there's a scene where the grandma is like telling the daughter, like, go, can you reach into the oven and can you climb in there and clean it out? And then she's like, no, really get in there. And it's just terrifying to me. This whole movie seems incredibly scary.
This seems really weird.
It seems like a really
I
weird
still haven't
movie.
heard an explanation of it where it sounds scary. The grandma's coming at you. I'm just like, all right.
Maybe she's possessed. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
We don't know. What's the twist?
What's the twist? Is
What's
there
a
a
twist,
twist?
M. Night?
Didn't he say he didn't want his name on this, like because he didn't want people to expect a twist? Or there's something, he's been talking a lot about this movie.
He sure did do a lot of press for it.
Yeah. It might have been that he was worried about the twist, and people expecting it and all that stuff. So maybe there's no twist. Maybe it's just a straightforward story. Maybe that's the twist. There is no twist. That's the only way he could do it.
Never mind. Go on.
Maybe,
I was
okay.
going to say the twist is that there is no twist, but then he made that twist so that it would be a twist.
Oh, I like it. I like
You're
it.
watching Tomorrow Daily.
And Inception. All right, let's talk about, let's go way back in our time machine and talk about your user feedback from last week. I think we talked about this at Wednesday? TD Hulu? Talk about TD Hulu? If people wanted to pay extra to get the ad-free Hulu business. You guys had very strong opinions about this. Very strong opinions. Some people were even angry. Some people
At us?
No, just angry at Hulu.
Okay, go on.
So Walter wrote in and said, I would pay $20 per month for no ads and offline viewing for all network shows, which is a pretty serious, that's like a demand. I would say that's an incredible demand. Kevin wrote in and said, nope, no $4 more for Hulu. Fine with ad breaks, needs more variety. Same ad over and over. I'd pay for Tomorrow Daily, though.
Woo! Kevin Watts, Team Kevin Watts is.
I'm on Team Kevin today. I'm on Team Kevin.
Today, yeah.
Thank you.
Way to go, man.
Andrew wrote in and said, I'd pay anything with an asterisk if there was a 2-time playback speed. Seriously, how can anyone binge watch at 1-time speed? Can't even watch Tomorrow Daily at 1-time speed. That means if he watches this at 2-time speed, the show is over in about 10 minutes, which seems pretty legit. And we probably sound like chipmunks.
I mean, we sound like chipmunks normally.
Right. I can't even.
Maybe
the dogs can hear us at 2 times.
We should just talk really slow to screw this guy over. How does that sound? Ha! I'm done. That's
pretty great.
The joke wore
I was
out a
just
long
going
time
with
ago,
you on
yeah.
that one. But he left an asterisk, and I looked, and he didn't actually write anything else.
Oh.
So I think he says anything in that asterisk means within reason, like not $100 a month.
I've never tried the binge watching things faster than the normal speed.
I think I could if it was like our show, if it was a talk show, but then, because that's like listening to a podcast at twice the speed. But then I think, I don't know that I could do like Walking Dead.
Am I the only person that, do you do that, Logan?
No.
I do 1.5 speed. It's just slightly faster, just slightly, so that you can get in a whole podcast in the drive in.
No, I like that. I like that. I was just asking. All right. Sorry,
I'd say talk shows, yes. Dramatic shows, no, and comedic shows, because there's a sense of timing in there that only gets really relayed through the speed at which it was intended to be played. I don't know. That's just me. And then lastly, Mitch wrote in and said, sure, I would pay the extra $4 if it was all ad free, and also if they just add all 10 seasons of Friends. I could only dream. And then he has a little sniffly sad face. That's the.
You know the problem? Nobody told him life was going to be that way.
No, it's true. Should I? No?
Yeah, you should have.
I was
you
just checking.
You should have, but you waited too long.
Just wanted to ask.
But if you watched that at 2 times the speed, you would have done it.
It would be on time. Yeah, totally. I did that on purpose for Andrew. All right, guys, let's talk about our last piece of user feedback. It's time for our photographer of the day.
See, you said that fast. That
I
part
did.
you said fast, so that sounded like 4 times the speed.
Unintelligible, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You can't even hear
now
what
we're
that is.
obsessed with this. Thank you, Andrew.
Cody wrote into us and sent us this picture from a device that we haven't had on the show yet, BlackBerry Q5. He says, hey, my name is Cody. I have a few pictures for you from Barry's Bay in Canada. It is one of the most beautiful places I've been. It is a very small town. I took the pictures on a BlackBerry Q5. I also give you permission to use my photos. Keep up the good work, guys. So we've got some really, really nice pictures here of Barry's Bay in Canada.
Blackberry's Bay. Nice.
I'm assuming it's Blackberry's Bay. Yeah. Is that maybe Blackberry's backyard in Waterloo?
Wow, that place looks cool.
Gorgeous. Yeah, this is amazing. My brother went to Yosemite this week and he sent back so many nice pictures and I was jealous. But this is pretty equivalent to a fantastic national park excursion in the U.S. That's amazing. Those
Very
are
cool.
Gorgeous pictures.
Yeah, it's interesting to see photos from a BlackBerry.
Yeah. They look good. I think they look good. And the Q5 is not I don't think it's like a major flagship. I think it's like a one step.
Is there a reason why they're square?
Probably because he took them for Instagram. Some people send them in, they've already cropped them for Instagram.
Okay.
Or they take them in square mode and then just send them to us.
Okay.
But if you guys want to send in your photography, you can. You can email us tomorrow at cnet.com. Send us your picture, what device you took it on, give us permission to use it in the show, and also tell us a little story about it because we love story time. And of course, you can keep up with the show on social media. We're Tomorrow Daily on like Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. But really, come hang out with us. I'm at Ashley Scala on Twitter.
And I'm at Khail Anonymous on Twitter.
On Twitter? On the Twitter?
On Twitter.
Excellent. And if you want to send anybody to the show, just send them to tomorrowdaily.com. It's just that easy. That's it for our show today. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new docket of weird, wonderful science facts, science fiction, gaming, geek pop culture, all the stuff.
Okay, but now do it slow for Andrew.
I don't want to. I won't. You know why? Because it's not being a good human. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.